Earlier when Disney came out and said that they casted Silver Surfer and that it was going to be Julia Garner, my first thought was, are you crazy? We're really doing this after everything after all the fire that Disney's been under. They are literally going to gender swap Silver Surfer. Now, there's a lot of people that wanted to point out that she's the female version of Silver Surfer from the comics. That was briefly in the comics, by the way. But Shala Ball. Even I never heard of this chick. But with that being said, they're going through with it. They're doing this. They're making this decision. So even though Julia Garner, who, by the way, Julia Garner, an amazing actress. She's from Ozark. She was in Waco as well. She was also in the that Sin City sequel too. Back in the day. Well, I shouldn't say back in the day. I was like, what, maybe 10 years ago, if even that, or almost 10 years ago. So very talented actress, but she's also done some real sketchy work as well. She was a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race a few times. She was also in this movie called, it was a lesbian movie called Grandma that she was in too, that I heard about a few years back. So, I mean, if you need somebody down with the cause, you already know that Julia Garner, you need somebody to help push an agenda. Julia Garner is right there. I mean, she's very talented, yes, but she's also there to help push an agenda as well. But if this tells us anything when it comes to Marvel, when it comes to Disney and what they're doing, we've been saying for years, screaming at the top of our lungs for years, Disney, stop doing what you're doing. No one is going to go see your movies. The Marvels taught them that. Ant-Man taught them that. Thor Love and Thunder taught them that. And guess what? This is what we learned today. That Disney themselves didn't learn a goddamn thing. Let's get one thing straight. All right? We know that there's been a female Silver Surfer back in the day. I think it was like, somebody stated it was 1968 that they had Shala Ball introduced in the comics. Congratulations. Cool. But whenever anybody thinks about Silver Surfer, let me ask you guys something. Are we thinking about Shala Ball? Whenever we think about Black Panther, do we think about T'Chaka or T'Challa? Whenever we think about Captain America, do we think about any other iterations other than the real Captain America, Steve Rogers? Thank you. And don't even get me started on the Spider-Man thing. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. I feel like that shouldn't have to be explained. But for those of you idiots out there that want to come out here and say that, oh, Shala Ball was in the comics, oh, this is great. Like, why? How do you sleep at night continuing to defend a company like this? How do you sleep at night when you literally go out of your way every single time Marvel comes out with an announcement to try and defend it? To try and defend an agenda that you already know is going on, that you're actually a part of. And guess what? Box office has gone down more and more and more that they've done this. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness was the last movie. I should have said the last one because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 made a lot of money as well. But those are the last two movies to make a lot of money for Marvel. Now, granted, Deadpool's coming out in July, but we'll see how that does. We'll see if that movie's even good. But the fact that we're getting a Fantastic Four movie without Fantastic Four. How many times does Korn have to come out here and tell you guys this? How many times does casual Korn? Because when it comes to comics, I'm casual. I'm a casual fan. So when you guys come out and say, oh, 1968, we had a female Silver Surfer. But, okay, that's cool and all, but nobody really cared about who Shala Ball was. And to this day, nobody still cares about. Even the people who came up with the decision to put Shala Ball in this movie don't care about who Shala Ball is. They are here to virtue signal. And if you guys think that I am just sitting here just flapping my gums and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, we're staring right here at a post talking about Lakeith Stanfield, of all people, was being considered for Silver Surfer. I'm going to let y'all sit on that for a minute. Disney will still be Disney. They were looking to rattle the cage of real superhero and comic book fans, real Fantastic Four fans, real Marvel fans in general. You don't even have to be a fan of the comic book version of whatever the fuck. in any of these movies. If you were a fan of the Silver Surfer, of the character Silver Surfer, in any iteration, whether in video games, back in the Marvel Capcom days, whether in television shows, cartoon shows, it doesn't matter. Hell, even the old Fantastic Four movies. If you are a fan of Silver Surfer, Marvel was here to let you down. Marvel was here to rattle the cage and to piss you off. And guess what? They succeeded. Because I barely like the Fantastic Four, and even I'm pissed off about this. I'm like, y'all literally went out of your way to do this. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Marvel will destroy every single IP that they have. And I just want to ask you guys a question, man. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? When do we say, hey, Marvel, fuck you? When does everybody do that? I just don't understand how a decision like this interests a single soul in this universe. Again, not to shit on Julia Garner herself, but we already know she's down for the cause. She's just here for a payday. She's here to get the next big role and get the fuck out. That's what actors and actresses do. I'm sure she's not familiar with any of Fantastic Four lore, which is why she went out of her way to say, hey, you know what? I'll be a Silver Surfer. Fuck it. I know I'm going to piss off a lot of the actual fans that care about the Fantastic Four characters and care about the storyline of Fantastic Four. But guess what? I'm just here to get paid. And look, I can't be mad at her. It's not like she came out and said, fuck you fans, and this is a new age. It's not like she's coming out here, at least yet. We'll have to wait for the rollout, for the red carpet for her to, and everybody else to start coming out there and virtue signaling on the red carpet. But until then, I cannot say that Julia Garner herself is in any fault for this. Obviously, she's just here for a job. She's got casted. There's no slight towards her, but she is definitely a very sketchy individual when it comes to the virtue signaling. Lakeith Stanfield, he's down for the cause. We already know he is. Another extremely talented actor, but is someone who's also down for the cause. He will bend the knee the second you pull some money out your pocket. He'll do it. And let's get one thing straight. If we're going to go back to the whole Shala Ball thing, wasn't Shala Ball, didn't she have some futures? Didn't she at least a little bit curvy in some areas? Julia Garner, again, no offense, no attack to her personally, but let's just keep it a buck, okay? Can we just at least call a spade and just say, hey, Julia Garner has no tits, ain't got no ass, looks like a robot, as you can see right here in this picture. She'd make a great Silver Surfer. But guess what? Wrong place, wrong time. We, as Marvel fans, have been burned plenty of times before over these past few years. Plenty of times over the past few years. And then every single time we get burned, we're told it's our fault. Like we were in the writing room. Like we were the ones that were in charge of casting these people. Like we were the ones that came up with the storyline and particular characters. Why the fuck was Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? I'm still trying to figure that one out. Why am I logging in on Twitter and I'm seeing Robert Meyer Burnett praising this idea that Julia Garner is being casted as Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four? Like, are you still that naive? And again, I love him and respect him, and he has a lot more fucking experience and all this stuff than I probably ever will. But I'm telling you right now, bro, there is a reason why they're doing this. And it's not because of storyline. It's not, oh, we decided to go a multiverse and use a different Silver. No. You just needed someone to play Silver Surfer that was going to check that box of representation / diversity. That's it. So, I mean, if you ask me about Lakeith Stanfield being considered for this role, yes, this was definitely a role they wanted for a reason. I guarantee you, Silver Surfer has storylines in the comics where he does have some suffering, where there is a little, maybe not, I wouldn't want to use the word depression, but guess what? That's what they're going to use. Why else would they just cast a role for representation and diversity if they weren't going to use the role for Silver Surfer or Shala Ball, whoever the fuck, is going to be in a storyline where them or their people or their species or whatever the fuck is going to be oppressed? Mark my words. This is going to be a Silver Surfer crying about victimhood, crying about victimization, pulling out that victim card in Fantastic Four. So I just want to let y'all know, man, Green Day had a song that came out back in the day called Wake Me Up When September Ends. Wake me up when Fantastic Four becomes Fantastic fucking Four. Because this is not Fantastic Four. This is a parody. Thanks a lot, Disney.